Welcome to Living Investing with me, Jonathan Broekman. My guest today is Richard Wright. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you very much for having me. Awesome to be here.
New year, new energy.
Yeah.
Tell me what is going to make 26 better than 25?
Wow. So it's a tough question at the beginning of a year because you kind of think, well, what can I do differently? So the first thing I want to say is that nothing changes if nothing changes. I ask people the question very often, especially when I speak in front of an audience. I'll ask people, put a little slide up that says, is there anybody sitting here who wants to be in exactly the same place you are right now on this day next year? And nobody puts up their hands, which is obvious, right? And the reason for that is because we all want something that's different. And that can be summed up in one word, and that really is better. Every single one of us want better. So coming into 2026, I want better than what I had last year. So fantastic, but how are you going to do that? And without change, you can have no future, only a recurring past. So essentially, the question we need to ask is, what are you going to change?
Is that the question? Does it just start with change, or do you need an action plan?
So without knowing what you want to change, what's the action plan going to be about? So I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions, but I am a fan of pretty much trying to understand, where do I want to go? What does it look like? And if I can define that, and that's normally three things. And those are, who do I want to become? And that's the one we don't normally think about at all. What do I want to be doing? And what do I want to have? So those three things. I want more of this thing. I want to have things. What do I want to be doing? Something different. And who do I want to become? And until you can define that.
So it's not an action plan and a goals poster and a route map.
So action, absolutely. But if I haven't figured out what those actions are. So I'm a vision board. I'm a big believer in that. Very old school. So both of us, I'm not going to say we're old, but we are a little bit more mature.
With pictures.
Right. So with pictures, that vision. But if you don't know what the vision is, how do you determine the action? So what happens? We try and change things through our actions and behavior first, which is why we fail.
That's what the book says.
Because we haven't changed our mindset. But until we've changed our thinking, which determines our actions and behavior, we're not going to change much. So here's a good example. Some of you might have asked your friends and family for some new gym clothes for Christmas, right? Are you that person? And you want that because you're going to change your life, because you're going to hit the gym. And this year is going to be different. And you hit the gym running. Most of you, it wasn't the 1st of January because you had a bubbleus. Yeah. But the second, you hit the gym hard, right? You used all the equipment, and most of it you hadn't seen before because you were there last year and it's all changed. And for like 7 days, every single day, you're leaving sweat on the floor and your new kit. And on day number 7, you think, Jonathan, today I'm going to weigh myself because surely I've built muscle, I've lost weight.
There's no change.
So you step on that scale, you look down, you're like, the scale must be broken. You reset and you kind of move it on the floor because maybe it isn't level. And you look down, you're like, what the hell? What happened? Gym clearly isn't for me, I put on weight. So if you do any kind of research, you'll see that you are stretching your little microfibers. You're breaking microfibers. So you're actually tearing your muscles. So that's that stiff feeling. When you're feeling stiff, you've broken muscles. And now you've got to heal.
Need to recover.
Right. So how does that happen? And you retain water and now excess blood, because blood is oxygenated, oxygen to heal the muscles. So naturally, science says you are going to put on weight before you lose weight. But now what if you knew that before you started?
It's not in the rule book though.
So essentially what I'm saying, that maybe it's time to change the rule book, or maybe it's time to look at the rules a little differently. Because if we understand them differently and we can change the way we think, the outcome will be different.
So Richard, for Mr. Average,
yes,
with his list of New Year's resolutions,
yes,
and before he gets to day 1 to 7 at the gym, how do you pace yourself?
All right. So that's a great question as well. So before we even go there, a lot of what I do, the enrichment project, enrichment project is enriching people's thinking, enriching people's lives, which is a lot of what I do through personal coaching and through working with groups. But it's all based around a quote by Oliver Wendell Holmes. And Oliver said, a person's mind wrapped around a new idea can never return to its original dimensions. So once we've learned something new, once we've thought something different, we can never go back. And from that moment, your entire life will be different. So what if we are able to say something now that can change your thinking in a way that's going to change your entire year? But you would be ludicrous to think that you could change your year on whatever date you're watching this in January. Just on that, everything's going to change. And change is not what we want it to be. Change is slow. Change is tiny little things. Change is hard. It's painful. It's not significant. What I've got to say, in terms of going back to your question, is the more consistent you can be, with smaller little increments, just little things, the better and the more likely you are to keep going. Number 2, understanding that discipline is more important than motivation. You're going to be motivated on day 1 in January, but you're not going to be motivated on the 10th or 14th or 21st or the 1st of February. Motivation comes and goes, and motivation actually comes from being disciplined. The more disciplined you are, the more you see the results. The more you see the results, the more motivated you are to keep going with the discipline. So it's that deciding that it's not going to be easy, and understanding that you're going to fail. And that's good, because if you're not failing, you're not trying something new. Whereas we see failure as this bad thing. It's not. They like to talk about failure as, it's not really failing, it's just learning, or it's just, whatever. It's failure.
Failing forward.
And that's okay, right? If you're not failing in the beginning of 2026, you're not doing anything new, which means you're not changing anything, which means you're going to have 2025 all over again. So it's that being prepared to fail. And if you get your head around the fact that I am likely to fail, and understanding even what that looks like, I'm going to put on weight before I lose weight, chances are you will keep going and you'll be consistent.
And so do you start slow and speed up?
Okay, so let's just talk about running, for instance. So very often people come to me and they say, Richard, can you help me? And immediately I'll say, right, let's not call it running. Let's actually just talk in time increments. So let's say we're going to 20 minutes a day, you're going to go out and it's a run walk. And then you're going to build up to 30 minutes. And I want you to start off by planning to walk. So I want you to plan to run. Let's start off by walking 3 minutes and then run 2 minutes. Walk 3, run 2. And then next week, you're going to add a minute to the run. And so you're going to gradually build up until you're walking less. And by doing that, you're starting off feeling like I can do tomorrow, or I can do more. And the minute you finish thinking I could do more, you set yourself up to succeed. Whereas if you finish thinking, I don't know how on earth I'm going to get up and do this tomorrow because that was so hard, well, you've made it too hard for yourself. And you will improve so much faster that way than if you try and smack it from the beginning. And that's the same for anything. It's just a great analogy. Another way to have a better year this year is, how about you start to apportion your time in fewer increments? Why are meetings an hour? Maybe 2026 is not the year of an hour meeting. Maybe it's a 45-minute meeting, but maybe it's half an hour. Maybe it's 25 minutes. So you get 5 minutes in between meetings. And it's that wonderful concept that Steve Jobs made famous, compartmentalizing your time. When he was still alive and you wanted to make an appointment with him, it was a case of getting a hold of his PA, and a PA would say, if you want 15 minutes with Mr. Jobs, I can fit you in at 2 weeks' time. If you want half an hour, 2 months' time. If you want an hour, maybe in 2028. Obviously, you're going to go for 15 minutes because you want to see him soon. So in 15 minutes, you'll get so much more done because you're not distracted. You're not asking about holidays. You're just getting down to the business. And the quality of that interaction is so much higher. Be more assertive and precious around the amount of time you give to things and compartmentalizing your time.
I found a quote that was, look after the minutes and the hours look after themselves.
That's exactly right.
It was in 1747.
No way.
Yeah.
1747.
So time management was an issue nearly 300 years back.
Yeah, that's amazing. So time management is such a big thing, and it's such a big way to change your year. And that is even one of the exercises I love to do with people in a coaching journey, or even in leadership facilitation, is I want you to come up with, what is your hourly rate? So if you had to give me your net income for a year and then work that back to per hour. So it's 12 months by 4 weeks, 5 days, 8 hours a week, right? What is your hourly rate? And then a whole list of all the things, the activities that you do in a given week or a given month. At column 4, these are the things I'm highly skilled at. These are the things I really enjoy. These are things that are an investment of my time. I get a direct return on my investment for these things, or these are just a spend of my time. These are things that somebody else could actually do for me. And these are things, and then the number of hours, and then a rand and cents figure. And that is astounding when you look at, and I can tell you this for free, the things that you really enjoy are the things that you're highly skilled at, and are the things that are investment of your time. And the things that you aren't are things you're doing anyway. But if you just look at that amount of money, that expenditure in a month, have a look at that and your year will change. You might end up employing somebody to do the things that you don't want to do, don't have to do, are not really good at, and you'll save yourself money. So even just that is a fantastic way of looking at a different outcome. But now back to your original question. When you change your thinking, the actions and behavior follow suit. And then we figure out what the action plan looks like.
Everyone knows what they're good at. Should you not look at what you're not good at?
I love that so much. So I like to ask the question differently. So how do you know what you're good at? Because you've already done it. How do you know what you really, well, I got awards for that. So what about the stuff you aren't good at? And one of the analogies I use, and I'm not going to bore you with it now, is completing an Ironman, because that's part of my journey, right? And saying to people, it's a lot more attainable than you think. But it's the fact that it's so big. I've never done it before. Look at the mileage I've got to complete, that puts people off. And it's the idea of, how do you get your head around challenging yourself to do things that you have never done before. And the barrier to entry is always fear. It's always fear. What if I suck at it? And now we're back to one of the points I made earlier, and that is, if you're not failing, you're not trying anything new. And it's only by failing that you're actually going to be learning anything new. And it's the number of hours you need to put in. And one of the best examples, Oren Harari, speaks about Thomas Edison. And essentially, if he hadn't been prepared to fail, we wouldn't have electric light. But essentially saying that the electric light bulb did not come about from the continuous improvement of candles. And I love that. So the entire world says our light comes from a flame, it's from a candle, and we need to improve the candle. Well, okay, how far can we go with that? It's a slower burning wick, slower burning wax, bigger candle, multiple wicks. It's still the same thing. And it's only when you decide I'm going to a radical departure from my current thinking to something I've never tried before, something I don't know I'm good at. But here's the kicker, is we know that he tried almost 1,000 times or failed 1,000 times. And when asked, what made you keep going? Well, you failed so many times. He said, I didn't fail. I learned 999 times how not to do it. But our problem in this world, which is instant gratification, we want everything to happen now. We're not prepared to fail enough times, often enough.
Are we programmed to play it safe all the time?
So Jonathan, I absolutely think we are programmed to play it safe. We have an innate instinctive need to play it safe. So let me take you back a couple of 100,000 years, right? So we were living in caves, we were living in plains, and we are not built to survive on our own. It's tribes, and the tribes were somewhere between 14 and 22 members, right? And the tribe was safety. And step out of that, you're unsafe. But we've always had to protect ourselves against everything out there, the elements. And we're grateful today is a beautiful day in January and everything is lovely, but what if it wasn't? Now all of a sudden it's cold, we're having to protect ourselves. Sunscreen, we can't even do that, right? So we were never the fastest, never the biggest. And essentially our ability to respond to change is why we're still here. 5 Homo species, we're the only one to survive. We were Neanderthal, man was stronger than us, but somehow by luck, by genes, here we are. It's our response to anything new, anything that isn't safe. That's why we hate change so much. And although I'm saying without change you can have no future, only recurring past, that's what's so hard, is we don't want to change stuff until our level of discomfort is high enough, because our instinct says the minute something changes, threat. Change is threat. And I need to ascertain what that threat is, because my ability to respond to that threat is going to determine whether I survive. So not only are we programmed to play it safe, we programmed to resist change. We programmed to see change as a threat. So when you understand that, you understand how hard it is to change anything.
Does this go back to the analogy about my granddad rode a camel, I rode a horse, my son drives a Rolls Royce?
So help me with that. I haven't heard that.
So every generation makes it easier for the generation to follow until we become lazy, and then we have to add a little bit of hardship.
I definitely think we're there. As I said just now, just that instant gratification, just how easy things have got. Our grandparents didn't have it easy, and we joke about them talking about how far they had to walk to school and how bad it was, and no matter the weather, and it's like really. And we don't walk to school anymore, most of us anyway. Privileged, I guess. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think we're definitely going to hit some harder times before they get easier again. And how easy is it? And it's that whole idea of simplicity, complexity, simplicity. Things are simple, life is simple, you're a baby, things are simple. As you get older, it becomes more complex. Simple again, you sit in the stoop and wait for the sun to go down. And the same thing with problems. And because life is becoming so simple, AI, I think it's making it harder for us to differentiate ourselves. I think it's making it harder for us to do harder things. I think we're just looking for that easier thing all the time.
Like doing the calculation in your head as opposed to a calculator.
Correct. I still remember my home number. I can't remember my own wife's cell phone number. So yes, absolutely. I think it is that.
You're big on the subject of being a victim. Yes. Talk us through that.
Wow. So I love that. So a lot of what I do in the sessions that I hold and questions I ask people is, so we're in January 2026. What is preventing you from getting to the place where you want to be, you desire to be 12 months from now? Because you don't want to be where you are right now. You want better. But the problem is we want the better, but immediately we think of all the things that are stacked up against us that are going to prevent us from getting there, and how hard it's going to be, and what the chances are, and everything that has to, the stars need to align and before we're going to get there. And the more we focus on those things that are legitimate, they're real, they are obstacles, there are disruptions. And here's the thing, in January, we don't know about what's coming in July that's potentially going to derail us. So now we're trying to change things within ourselves. We're trying to change how we think. We're trying to change our behavior, but the world is changing around us. And so the chances that we're going to succeed are quite slim, actually. And we make it harder for ourselves by focusing on all the things that could derail us, all the challenges. And the more you focus on this thing that is preventing you from getting to where you want to get to, the more of a victim you become of that thing. And that happens because whatever we think, we will attract more of. Our brains aren't capable of thinking for themselves, unfortunately. Our brains can only take the thoughts that we put in there, and this they're really good at. They will take the thought that we put in there and confirm it to be true. They're looking for evidence that exists that agrees with the thought, and they're looking for evidence that exists that disagrees with that thought, and they're filtering out that evidence.
The conspiracy theory.
There it is. So we are just becoming more of this thing, which is why we become more of a victim of that thing. Naomi Judd says something really cool. You can only ever be a victim once, thereafter you're a volunteer. And that really is a volunteer of your own thinking. Because you can be a legitimate victim. Something happens, you have a car crash, you lose a leg, you're a victim of a car crash. But at some point in time, you've got to decide not to be a victim anymore. And it's a concept of amor fati. It comes from Friedrich Nietzsche. I've got a tattoo here, big one. Second remission. And amor fati is Latin, love your fate or embrace your fate. And he goes on to say, because it is in fact your life. And the minute you can embrace that and accept that this is what it is, I can't change it, I'm freed up now to do something about that. But that victim mentality is, oh no, woe is me. I'm entitled to be a victim. This has happened. I'm worse off because of it. I'm never going to get that because look at all these things I've got to. And that really is a choice. So I'm a big one on that. And it's hard. I mean, a lot of my journey, it's been excruciatingly
doesn't come
hard.
Naturally. You have to work on it.
You have to. It's a conscious thought. I refuse to be that. Okay, but what am I instead? It's what we put in place of that thing. What's very important is saying, well, what are the goals of 2026? I'm not a victim of 2025. It's gone. I can't change that. But I've got a full year in front of me. It's a blank slate. Where do I want to be? How badly do I want to get there? What does it mean to be my why? Why do I want to be there? How am I going to do it? It's the conscious decision.
Richard, it seems like there's so much out of our control. How do you handle that process?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So you're 100% correct. What we need to figure out in terms of our journey towards this goal, this thing where we want to be, one of the most important things for us to figure out is what can I control? How am I going to control that? And what are the things I cannot control and what I do with that? And for me, the advice is let go of the things you can't control. Because the minute you can identify, I actually cannot control this thing. And it's the things that we can't control that make us feel like we're victims of them because we can't control it.
The economy.
This thing has come into my life, it's impacted me negatively, I can't control it, therefore I am a victim of this thing. But you can't control it, so let it go. Whether you're a victim or not, it doesn't matter, you can't do anything about it. Where is your locus of control? And very often it's choosing your thoughts around this thing, and that is around what do I need to do today that can influence the outcome in terms of where I want to go to, my goal, and how do I predict that outcome? What are those things?
Would that be sticking to your lane?
It would absolutely be sticking to your lane, but what are the activities that you need to do in your lane? That's the important part. That's what comes next. So in terms of, I could be in an Ironman, I could be in a swim section, which is just the start, a 3.8 kilometer swim. I've still got to do 180 kilometers on the bike and 42 kilometers on the run. I'm in the beginning of the swim. I haven't even got to the first buoy, and I'm already starting to think about the fact that my wetsuit is chafing on my neck and it's starting to burn because of the salt water, and I'm thinking, it's going to be so bad on the bicycle when the sweat is now drying in this chafe and it's going to be so uncomfortable. I haven't even got out of the swim yet, and I'm really thinking about how bad that's going to be. I can't control that now. Yes, it's chafing. What can you do? I can't do anything. What I can concentrate on are my thoughts. My thoughts are going to control, Richard, there's the next buoy. It's 300 meters in, 12 lengths in a 25 meter pool, 16 strokes per length. Count your strokes, push forward, glide, breathe, push forward, glide, breathe. I'm concentrating only on this thing that I need to do in this moment en route to that thing, which is only part of everything I need to do. So chunking it down, what is the next thing I need to do? That's
little bite-sized chunks.
Power of now, in this moment, what I need to do. Forget about the finish line, forget about where you want to go in 12 months time. You know where that is. And you know what you need to do today. Do that thing.
My favorite quote at the moment is, of all the things that are important to you, how far down that list are you?
That is a very, very big important part of achieving your goals in 2026, is making sure that you're a priority. And it's something we get wrong so often, is this idea of, I need to sacrifice myself. And we get to the point where we sacrifice so much we have nothing left to give. And then we're useless to those people. Not for nothing, when you are on a plane and you're about to take off, please put your mask on yourself before you help other people. And this year, I would love it if this was the year of you putting the oxygen mask on yourself, making sure sure that your tank is full, making sure that you are in the best state possible to be who you need to be for other people. That's not selfish. I think selfish gets a poor rap, but being selfish, obviously there's a point. But if we aren't able to do that, how much are we able to give? So I'm a big believer in that. And part of my journey with cancer has been to shut out people and shut out the world at some point in time. And people often don't understand that, because I'm just trying to help you, or I need something from you. I need you to reassure me that you're going to be okay. And it's like, okay, hold on. My responsibility is towards me, because if I can't do that, chances are I'm not going to be around to be who I need to be for you.
You mentioned that you're on chemo. Tell us about your journey.
Wow. So, Jonathan, brain cancer for the 5th time. It's been an 8-year journey, and very rare, very aggressive form of cancer, no treatment. So it's been a very up and down, very emotional roller coaster ride of trying to manage being sick, trying to manage counting down days, counting down months. There have been times I've been given a very short time to live, and trying to make sense of that, as well as trying to figure out how to get my head around a life that is on the other side of that. And then every time going into remission, accept, yes, at this point in time, there's no evidence of disease, NED. History says it's going to change. So when is it going to change? Is it going to change? Is it not going to change? And how do you live in the moment? And there's some days I really get it right, and others that I don't. I wrote a book called The Power of Purpose, and how purpose has been very integral in helping me through my journey. And that's another big thing for people to take out of this chat, hopefully, in terms of a better 2026. What is this thing called purpose? Because very often we like to portion purpose to the goals. What is the difference between a goal and purpose?
And how do you define that?
So a goal is merely a thing that you are hoping to achieve. It's a place you want to be. It's something I want to achieve within myself. It is something I want to achieve with my team. It's something I want to achieve with my brand. It's something I want to achieve with my product, with family, whatever it is. Whereas purpose is literally a collection of all the little things that you do in a day that make you feel happy, excite you, and give you a sense of meaning. And it's almost always about something outside of ourselves.
Attached to an emotion.
So it is normally that. So here's the other thing. I bet you when you went to school, and you were at Greenside, right? I was at Northcliffe, so we played sport against each other, right? Yep. But when you went to school, you weren't taught to identify what happiness feels like. You were taught to identify what anger feels like, frustration feels like, jealousy feels like, all those negative emotions, but you weren't actually taught to deal with them in a good light either. As a guy, you were taught to bottle them up. No wonder we got aggressive, we were angry, or we acted out. We certainly weren't taught to identify is happiness. What does happiness feel like? When you get your degree, when we have a family gathering and there's something to celebrate, happy, that we're happy now. Why only then? And what I learned is that in the worst times for me, when I was literally, I didn't think I was going to make it. I'm divorced, and my girls live with me 1 week, with their mom 1 week. And just the weeks my girls were with me, this feeling of waking up knowing they're in my home, that feeling is happiness. Going to wake them up and snuggling warm, and that's happiness. You know, making their school lunches while they're having breakfast, discussing their day. That's what happiness feels like. And happiness doesn't mean that your reality has to be completely happy. You can find happiness even when your reality is negative or less than. So what is that for you? And again, it's often about other people or other things. And that is also joy and then meaning. I'm making a difference. How are you making a difference? And so that purpose and the goal, two completely different things. Purpose is about the journey towards the goal. The goal is the goal.
The certificate and the medal.
Correct. So that purpose is, and I love helping people to identify purpose, because so often we're taught to believe it's got to be this big thing. It's got to be mass, saving the world, saving the planet, world peace. But it isn't. Being a parent, that's being a son or a daughter, opening a dog shelter, helping homeless, giving something to somebody on the side of the road. Any of those little things that gives us a sense of meaning. I made a difference. I made a legitimate difference. You want to turn your year around? Figure out what that is for you and go and chase that thing. The more we acknowledge those things, the more purpose we'll have. So what I love to do with people, and maybe this is something that you can do with your significant other, your kids, your staff, somebody, is every day, at the end of the day, I call it parking your day, write down the 3 things that were wins in your day that either made you feel happy, excited you, or gave you a sense of meaning. What were your 3 wins of the day? And it doesn't matter how bad your day is. You will always, it could be one day I got out of bed and I had a shower and I changed and I got into other pajamas. That was a win. So how did that make you feel? I did something. What is that for you? Do that this year. And at the end of the year, can you imagine how many wins you'll have? Just such a simple thing. Change doesn't have to be big. And what's interesting about that is it changes your thinking, because now I'm writing these things down. For the first couple of days, it's quite hard. And then I start to get into the habit. And while I'm doing what I'm doing in a day, I suddenly think, I'm going to report back. This is one of my wins. And then within another week or so, you start to put things into your calendar that you know are going to make it easier for you to report back as a win. In other words, you're changing your actions and behavior because you've changed your thinking. It's that simple.
Richard, Simon Sinek's Finding Your Why and Finding a Purpose. What's the difference?
So why and a purpose are very similar things. So the why is, why do I do this thing? And most often it's about the feeling, or about the difference I make, or what my product does for other people, or what I do for other people. And a lot of that you are going to translate back to a feeling. And a lot of it is having a meaning. I have a meaning. This is a product that makes a difference. This is a product that solves somebody's problem. This is whatever that is. So that is absolutely pivotal. So let's go back to the beginning. Where do you want to be in 12 months from now? What is that for you? And if that doesn't mean enough for you, if that doesn't talk about your why, you're not going to get there. One more thing. So there's forced change and there's chosen change, right? Forced change is something happens in my life. I lose a job, I lose a partner, something happens, whatever, and I'm forced to change. I actually don't have a choice. And that's very powerful, because you don't have a choice. So often we do incredible things because we are forced to do them. But for any other change, we don't change things until the level of discomfort gets high enough. And we all know these people. I've been there myself. I've put on weight. I really should be working out again. I should be training. My belts are getting tight. Things are getting tight. And you moan. And it's like, well, why aren't you doing anything about it? The level of discomfort hasn't become high enough. And that moment for me, when I suddenly realized I'm now not a 32 anymore, and I'm going to have to go up a belt size. Okay, that's a hard stop for me. I've never been anything but a 32. I'm not going 34, right? That moment in time, the level of discomfort has become high enough. I will do something about that. What is that for you? And maybe that's a good place to start. What point is it going to get bad enough that I'm actually going to do something about it?
So it's not a date on the calendar.
It isn't a date. It very often isn't a date. Sometimes it has to be one, but then why is it when everything aligns and it's the first of the month, it's also on a Monday, and that doesn't happen very often. Yeah. But why does it have to be a Monday? Why does it have to be the beginning of the month? Why does it have to be when you want it badly enough? So somebody said to me a while back, Rich, I want to do a 21, and I'm worried that I don't really have a why. I want to do it because of how. She said, why do you want to do it? Well, I want to do it because how my friends what they'll think about me, because they don't think I can do it. How proud my kids will be. Bragging rights. I said, why isn't that a why? That's a magnificent why. I want you to transport yourself to the finish line and think about how you are going to feel once you've accomplished this thing. Tap into that feeling. And when it's hard and it's winter, it's Johannesburg and it's frost and you got snot icicles.
That's what will keep you
At that point
going.
in time, how am I going to feel when my friends look at me and they're so proud of me? That feeling, that's your why. It doesn't have to be this big, I'm saving the world. It's not that. But if you don't have that why, if it isn't big enough, you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve this year. Same with your team, same with work, same with anything. So Simon, he nailed it. And people nailed it well before he did, but he was a marketing machine, or he is. Yeah.
Do you have a 12-month action plan for 2026?
Right, so I am the wrong person to ask if you're going to ask about a 12-month action plan, because I suck at things like that, right? It's just too long for me. Even if I'm training for an Ironman, I know what I need to do on the date. I know when the date is. And I can work back, and 9 months is even long for me, but maybe 6 months. And then I can pretty much figure out what I need to do in month 1, month 2, how many hours. It's that breaking it down. So for me, it would be, what are those smaller targets that you're aiming at? Is it measurable? It has to be measurable. And do you have a score sheet? And that score sheet is imperative for me. So it isn't necessarily a 12-month plan. You might have a broad idea of what you need to accomplish, but what is this thing that you're aiming at? Whether it's a goal, whether it is it's always going to be a goal, finish line, whatever it is. What is this thing? And how do I know how I'm doing in January in terms of my journey there? And what's quite interesting is that we talk about a coach's score sheet and a player's score sheet. And the player's score sheet is the most important. So if we're looking at a soccer match or a rugby match and we look at the scoreboard, there are only two things that matter to the players. What is the current score and how much time have I got left to impact that score? Yeah. So same thing for you. What is your current score in January and how much time have you got to impact, and what do I need to do to impact that? From a coach's point of view, they're sitting there with laptops. How many meters did this person run? How many tackles? How many kicks? How many passes? How many all of this? And that's what they need to measure. But as a player, we don't. So what does that scorecard look like to you? How do you know whether you're winning this year or you're losing this year? What is that actually? And how do we put that into daily things that are little and small little things that we need to do that are going to change and make an impact on that bigger thing? So as salespeople, it's a maths formula. It's literally how many phone calls do I make today, or how many people do I call on today, how many people do I see today? Out of that number of people, how many are going to translate to an appointment to go and talk about my product? Out of those appointments, how many are going to sign with me? Out of those signings, how many do I need to have? So if the big goal, I can block that down into, okay, what do I need to do today? Number one. And number two, very importantly, if I cannot take that activity, that action, the behavior, and put it into my calendar, as an appointment with myself, not going to happen. And that's that discipline around time management. Now we're going to full loop. Time management and how can I get more out of my time? It's non-negotiable appointments with myself, because if I do that thing today, it influences the outcome and predicts the outcome.
I'm thinking it's not a linear progression.
Oh, yes. Have you ever?
No, not ever.
Ever? Never in your life have you wanted to change something substantially and it's just been an easy linear progression?
No, I feel bipolar.
Okay, so you feel exactly the same as myself and everybody else feels. It's never linear and it's damn hard. So I think what you're saying there, the way I hear it, is control your expectations. If you're expecting that your change, sitting here in January 2026, if you're expecting that the change that you are hoping for, you're determined, but if you think that it's, and you expect that it's going to be easier and it's going to be linear and it's going to be the same all the time, good luck. It's never going to happen. So expect that the journey is going to be fraught with ups and downs. It's going to be fraught with roadblocks. It's going to be fraught with things that you never saw coming. You've got to get back to, how am I going to feel when I accomplish this thing in 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 10 months from now, 12 months from now? How will I feel? I might have lost today. That's why the score sheet is so important. I might have lost today, but I haven't lost the war. I've lost this battle on the war, but I haven't lost the war. And tomorrow's another day. I think something that's very important. We don't play catch up. We don't play catch up. So again, Ironman or training. I have this wonderful week that I've planned. It's a very important week. It's a building block in cycling, and it rains the whole week in Johannesburg. I'm training on an indoor trainer. Something breaks on the indoor trainer. Now I don't even have that. Now I've got to go to a gym. I go to the gym. The bike's all full. It's peak hour. I go back home. I haven't done this thing. I'm disconsolate. I'm disillusioned. I'm disappointed. And there's nothing worse than thinking, well, next week I've got to do this week and next week. I've got to somehow write it off. Write it off. It's actually okay.
Start again.
And start again. And you can have a full year of starting again. Every single day, start again. Nobody's stopping you from doing that, because you're still consistently starting again and consistently doing something that you didn't do yesterday. So be prepared to write days off. Be prepared to write months off. But that doesn't stop you from still moving forward towards the journey. It just means that you need to realign. We need to, that wonderful word from COVID days, pivot. We just need a pivot.
I was going to say tweak it. But...
Yeah, tweak it, pivot. Same thing, same thing, same thing.
In closing, the 5 takeaways for 2026. Push start, how do you go?
So straight off the bat, let's think about this. Where do you want to be? Crystallize that. Where is that? What is that? Who is that? Number one. Number two, how badly do you want it? Why? Why? If you can't write a very distinctive answer for this is why I want that thing, you're never going to make it. That's number two. Number three, what are the things that you need to do that are going to get you there? Number four, how are you going to measure it? What is your score sheet? I know today that I'm winning or I'm losing. And number five, how are you going to manage the curveballs? I want you to prepare yourself for what you're going to think when that happens, because it is going to happen. And I think those are 5 quite powerful takeaways.
So would it be fair to ask our viewers to send us their goals?
Jonathan, I don't think it's only fair, but I think we absolutely have to do that, because what's the point?
And what should it consist of?
Right, so if you've made it this far, thank you, kudos to you, what a massive compliment, but you didn't make it this far just to make it this far. You hung in there because you wanted to change something. So we would love to know what it is that you want to change, what that goal is that you are aiming for, and why that goal is so important for you. So those 3 things we would love to know. What is it you want to change, how are you going to change it, and why? So Jonathan, I've noticed that I've prompted you, pushed you a couple of times to commit to something, a goal, something, a big thing for you. So I'm going to push you. I'm not letting it go. What is that?
I have to give you my goal.
2026. What is that thing for you?
So my kids have been chasing me to do a 21K.
Stunning.
I think I can manage a half marathon. So that would be my plan for 2026.
All right. So why?
One, I've never done it.
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
I need to have something to train for, aim for, commit to.
And will they do it with you?
They will.
Right. So imagine that feeling, crossing that finish line with your kids. They'll do it with you. It's together.
No, it will be a Neisner 21Ks.
It will be a Neisner 21K. Do you know that you're going to be going downhill for a very long time?
Me, yes.
Right. And I'm doing it with my kids. So I know how I'm going to finish and how I'm going to feel with my kids 21.
That's the plan.
Right. So what are you going to do?
Get some new running shoes.
Right. And then?
Plan my running program to not be too ambitious.
Who are you accountable to?
Me.
Who else are you accountable to? Because I've got to say this, and this is something we didn't talk about. If you don't have accountability, if it's just you, chances it's really hard to stay accountable and get up in the morning when you're the only one who knows you're going to go and what distance you're going to go. And if you don't, you're it.
So a shared training program with my kids.
There we go. So just that simple thing. Now I'm in it, and they can see my score sheet. They can see what I'm doing. They can see there's that accountability. You've just made it easier for yourself. And what are you going to do if you hit a roadblock?
Go back a step and start again.
Right. Absolutely.
As easy as that.
That's as easy as that. I 100% believe you will. I'm going to be what now? You're accountable to us and me. Totally believe you're going to get there.
And that's by June next year. Thank you to Richard for my guest for today. I think we're all set for 2026. Anything else you need to let us know?
Just a massive, massive thank you for having me. You know where to find me. Just, I think we'll have deets below. But whether that is in my full-time capacity with VDM Attorneys, which is a estate agent property practitioner training, I'd love to help you out. Whether that is one-on-one coaching or enrichment project, whether it's coming to speak to your organization or you, or whether it is leadership facilitation. If I can help you in your journey of 2026, and I'm saying this to you as well, I would love to help out. I would love to enrich you and your team and your thinking. So you know where to find me. But good luck for 2026.